For years, Earth had been loud, its satellites, space stations, and colonies constantly sending signals, news, warnings, and laughter into the stars. Every species in the galaxy knew the sound of humans. They were never quiet. Then, in one strange moment, all of it stopped. At the Galactic Communications Hub on Station Vurex 9. An officer named Kale looked at the large screen in front of him. He blinked twice. The human frequency had flatlined. "That can't be right," Kale said. "Earth's channels are gone?" His assistant, a small insectoid called Relke, crawled closer. "It's not just one channel. It's all of them." Kale ran a full system scan. He checked the solar activity. He even pinged Mars, Jupiter, and Earth's moon base. No response. Earth wasn't sending anything. Not even background radiation. "I've never seen this," Kale whispered. Even during their wars, the humans always kept talking. Relke shivered. What if they can't? Within 2 hours, the silence was confirmed across the galaxy. Earth's lights, signals, and sensor echoes had all vanished. It was as if the planet had been turned off. On the Trade Council ship Lumana, panic broke out. "This is no accident," shouted Sorella, a snake-like ambassador from the Tolari species. "Humans are planning something. It's a trick." "No." Savadrinvek, a cybernetic diplomat from the Mechari system. "Humans may be unpredictable, but they don't fake their own extinction." "What if they've been attacked?" another voice asked. "What if Earth has fallen?" The council chamber went quiet. An elder stood up. He was of the Kaleri, an ancient, wise race that rarely spoke. "We must send a scout," he said calmly, "not to threaten, only to see." The decision was made. A single scout probe, fast and small, was launched toward Earth from the edge of its star system. The galaxy waited for news. It never came. Back, 12 days later, on a research station near Alpha Centauri, a young alien student named Tiller watched the same news on loop. He sat next to his mentor, an old scholar named Jax. "They're afraid," Tiller said. "Even the powerful ones. The silence scares them." Jax nodded slowly. "Because humans are not just another species. They are a mystery, a dangerous one. We've seen them survive things no other race could." Tiller leaned forward. "Do you think they're still alive?" "I don't know," Jax said. "But if they are, they're watching." At the edge of Earth's solar system, the second scout ship floated carefully toward the planet. This time, it was piloted by a living being, Captain Norak of the Drex Empire. He was one of their best, proud and fearless. "This is Scout 1, Norak said, recording his log. "I am approaching Earth at sublight speed. No signs of activity, no signals. Planet appears intact." He passed Mars. The red planet's colonies were dark. No lights, no defense systems. Just silence. Finally, he reached Earth's orbit. The planet below looked normal. Blue oceans, green lands, swirling clouds. But it felt wrong. "There's something here," Norak whispered. "I feel it. I'm being watched." He turned on his scanners, but all they showed was static. He tried to zoom in on the surface. The image wouldn't focus. It was blurred, like the planet didn't want to be seen. Then he noticed a shadow moving across the moon. But there was nothing there. "This is Scout 1, he said quickly. "Earth is not empty. I repeat, static. His ship was found 2 days later, floating outside Saturn, empty. There was no damage, no signs of struggle." Captain Norak was gone. Back at the council, the fear turned into chaos. "They're gone." "No, they've become something else." "Should we attack?" "Attack what? A ghost?" The leader of the Jurnari Empire stood up. "We must not act in fear. Send more ships. But this time armed." "Armed?" said a soft voice in the chamber. It was Malin, a human ambassador, one of the few who lived off Earth. Her voice was steady. "You think war will help?" The council turned toward her. "You don't know my people," she said. "If Earth went dark, it's not because we died. It's because we're preparing. Preparing for what?" Someone whispered. Malin looked at them with cold eyes. "Something big, and trust me, you don't want to be on the wrong side of it." In the dark corners of the galaxy, rumors began to spread. Some said Earth had built a massive shield around itself, invisible to all known tech. Others believed humanity had opened a doorway to another dimension, and a few whispered something more terrifying, that Earth hadn't been attacked. It had left, disappeared from this galaxy. On purpose, weeks passed. A deep space observatory near the Oort cloud picked up something new, a message, one short line, encrypted in old Earth code. They spent 3 hours unlocking it. The message read, "Do not come looking." The galaxy fell silent again, but this time the fear was real, because Earth was no longer silent by accident, it was silent by choice. Captain Varric was not afraid of ghosts. He had flown through black holes, danced with solar flares, and fought pirates in the asteroid belts. But when the Galactic Council ordered him to lead the first crewed ship toward Earth after its sudden silence, something inside him whispered no. He ignored it. "This is a simple recon mission," he told his team as they boarded the sleek vessel Ardent Wind. "We go in, scan Earth's orbit, drop a probe, and return. Nothing more." The crew of 10 nodded. Some looked nervous, but they trusted Varric. He was a war hero, one of the best. The ship launched from the outer rim. Within days, they reached the edge of Earth's solar system. Everything was quiet. Too quiet. Varric sat in the command chair, eyes locked on the main screen. "Sensors?" Lieutenant Elra, a pale-skinned avian with sharp eyes, frowned. "I'm not getting any heat signatures from Earth's moon base. No movement from Mars. Nothing. Try pinging Earth satellites." Varric ordered .elr. Tapped the console. A soft beeping filled the room. Then silence. No reply. "Not even a bounce back," she said. "Launch the scout drone." Varric said. They sent a small drone toward Earth. It vanished from radar 10 seconds after it entered orbit. Varric stood slowly. "All right, we go in closer. Full shields, eyes open." As Ardent Wind approached Earth, the planet looked normal. Blue oceans, swirling clouds, green continents. But there were no lights, no power grids, no sign of life. "Is that Earth?" whispered Rollo, the young engine tech. "It is," said Varric, gripping his chair. "But something's wrong. Earth's never been this dead." Elra's voice cracked. "Captain, there's something behind the planet. It's massive metal, but not showing on scanners." "What do you mean it's not showing?" "I can see it with my eyes, but sensors say it's not there." Varric narrowed his eyes. On the screen, just beyond the curve of Earth, was something huge. It was dark, shaped like a ring or a cage, orbiting slowly. "Is that a ship?" someone asked. "No," Varric said. "It's a structure." He pressed a button. "Log entry. We have visual on an unidentified structure orbiting Earth. No known markings. No response to hails. Appears cloaked to sensors but visible through direct sight. Continuing investigation." They moved closer. Suddenly, lights inside the ship flickered. "Power fluctuation," shouted the engineer. "We're losing shields," cried Elra. "Back us out." Varric yelled. The engines roared, then died. "Dead in space," said Rollo. "I don't know how. Nothing's touching us." On the main screen, the structure behind Earth began to rotate. A beam of light, thin and almost invisible, reached out and touched the Ardent Wind. Everything went black. The Council waited 5 days. No messages came from the Ardent Wind. Then, without warning, the ship reappeared floating just outside Saturn's rings. Silent. Drifting. The rescue team found it empty. No bodies. No signs of struggle. Only one thing remained. The captain's chair held a black box, blinking red. They brought it back to Council HQ. Inside were the final recordings. The screen lit up. Varric's face appeared, eyes wide, sweating. "If anyone finds this," he said, voice shaking, "turn back. Do not go near Earth. It's not what it was." He glanced to the side. "They see us. Even now, through the stars." A loud humming filled the audio. His eyes darted around. They didn't disappear, they evolved. A sudden white light flashed behind him, and he screamed. The video ended. The room went silent. "Is it real?" asked one council member. "It's all we have," said the technician. Everything else in the ship was wiped clean. All systems erased. Later that night, in the private chambers of Counselor Terra, two shadows met. "We told them not to go," said one. "But they never listen," said the other. "They think humans play by their rules. Now what?" The taller one looked out into space. "We wait. For what?" "For Earth to speak." And somewhere far away, inside that strange ring around the silent planet, something pulsed. Watching, waiting, and listening. The stars never blinked. They just stared, cold and still. Mira knew this better than anyone. She was an astronomer from the Talari species, slender, blue-skinned, with large silver eyes that reflected starlight. For the last 10 years she had worked in Deep Station Elos, a lonely outpost floating beyond the edge of the known galaxy. Her job was simple: watch the sky, report anything strange. For years, there had been nothing until Earth went dark. After the silence, the Galactic Council sent warning signals, probes, and even a crewed ship. All had vanished, except for a single black box, screaming of something that watched from the shadows. That's when Mira's station was tasked with watching Earth's region closely. One night, while sipping bitter tea and staring through the main scope, Mira saw it. Not Earth, not a ship, but something moving in the black space around Earth. She froze. "What is that?" she whispered. The object had no heat, no signal, no mass. But it moved. Slow, smooth, like a large eye turning toward her. She zoomed in. The screen crackled. Static jumped across the image. Then the screen cleared. Mira gasped. Something huge sat behind Earth. Not a planet, not a ship. It was dark and curved like metal, but too large to understand. The structure turned slowly, a ring around Earth, layered in shadows. But what caught Myra's heart was the center, a single red dot. Not blinking, just staring. She backed away from the screen, breath caught in her throat. "Station log, entry 294, she said, voice shaking. "Object sighted behind Earth. Possibly artificial, possibly alive. Eyes. I think it has eyes." The com buzzed. "Station Elos, this is Counselor Varn. Report," came a stern voice. Mira cleared her throat. "I found something, sir. It's watching us. Be clear, scientist." She stared at the image. "There's something around Earth, and it knows I'm looking at it." Back on the Galactic Council's ship Horizon, the report caused instant chaos. "Send a fleet," shouted one ambassador. "No," said another. "If it saw us, it could strike." A quiet voice spoke up. "What if it's not a weapon?" Heads turned. It was Counselor Varn. "What if it's a warning, a shield, or a message?" "Message from who?" asked someone. Varn narrowed his eyes. "From the humans." 3 days later, Mira received new orders. Focus the station's long range sensors directly on Earth's orbit. She hesitated. "It knows I'm watching." "We need to see," came the reply. She followed orders. Slowly, her instruments pierced deeper through the shadows around Earth. Then she saw it again. A structure. Gigantic, ring-shaped, spinning slowly. Thousands of small moving lights inside. It like machines. Or people. Then something changed. Her screen flickered. A new image appeared, not from her scanner. It was a face, human, but Not normal. Pale, glowing eyes. Still. It stared at her. She stumbled back from the console. Who is this? She said aloud. No answer, just silence. Then the screen turned black. A single word appeared. Looking. Mira shut the system down and locked the room. Later that night, she stared out the main window, eyes wide with fear and wonder. Someone or something from Earth had seen her. Not just through cameras, through distance, through space itself. She recorded a final message. If this reaches anyone, Earth is not lost, it's changing, watching, maybe waiting. She paused, and it sees more than we ever thought possible. She pressed send. Then the station lights flickered. Her teacup shook. The stars blinked for the first time, and outside, in the great black ocean of space, something massive moved again. Something with eyes, watching her, watching everything. In a quiet part of the galaxy, far from major trade routes and council meetings, a small rebel group known as the Varniks gathered in secret. They weren't warriors. They were seekers, hackers, scientists, and thinkers. And they all had one question. What happened to Earth? Taya, a young alien with purple skin and glowing blue eyes, stood before her team inside the cold metal room of their hidden base. The lights flickered slightly. Old power systems. Old ship. But what they were about to do was new and dangerous. Are you sure this is safe? Asked Levick, her brother. No, she said simply. But if the galaxy won't look closer, we have to. Taya had uncovered something shocking. In an old data vault on a broken trade ship, she found a corrupted human log file. It mentioned Project Halo, something the humans were building before the silence. The file was damaged, but one phrase had survived. Artificial sun. Burns black. It didn't make sense. A sun that burns black? Could be a weapon, said Joro, the group's tech expert. Or a power source, Taya replied. Maybe even something more. They loaded the coordinates hidden in the file, a secret lab. Not on Earth but floating just outside its orbit, hidden by old mining debris. They decided to go. The ship passed quietly into the dark edge of Earth's system. The galaxy had warned them not to come this close, but the Varniks didn't believe in fear. The lab was right where the file said it would be, hidden between two giant dead rocks. It was cold, silent, and still running on backup power. They docked carefully. Taya stepped inside first. The lights flickered on. Rows of glass tubes lined the hallway. Most were cracked or empty. Inside a few, they saw shapes, vague, humanoid, but wrong. Are these humans? Levick asked. No. Taya said, checking her scanner. They were human once, but something changed them. They walked deeper. In the main chamber, they found it. A machine, the size of a building, sat in the middle of the lab. It looked like a reactor, dark, smooth. Alive, it's pulsing, whispered Joro, like it's breathing. There was a console nearby. Taya powered it up. The screen flashed. A human face appeared, gray skin, hollow eyes, soft voice. If you're seeing this, you've come too close. The voice belonged to Dr. Elias Wren, a lead human scientist. He spoke calmly, like he already knew someone would find this after he was gone. We tried to understand the space between particles, the darkness between atoms, the place where light dies. We thought we could use it for power. He paused, then said 3 chilling words. We opened it. The screen glitched. Then continued. We built the Black Sun, a fusion of dark energy and light. It created power, yes, but also something else. Something that sees, something that learns. Taya stepped back. They made a mind, she whispered. Joro shook his head. No, they found one. The log continued. Earth's silence is not defeat, Elias said. It's transformation. We are not hiding. We are becoming, and soon we will return. Then the screen went dark. A moment later, the reactor began to hum. What did we activate? Levick asked. I didn't touch anything. Taya said. The walls around them shook slightly. Taya's scanner screamed. There's a spike in gravitational fields, she said. Something's forming near Earth. Joro looked out the window. A dark circle had appeared over the planet's surface like a halo of shadow. Is that the black sun? He asked. No, said Taya. That's the gate. The experiment is opening again. She turned toward her team. We need to leave, now. They raced back to their ship, engines already warm. As they pulled away from the lab, something strange happened. The stars around Earth bent as if space itself was bending inward. Joro stared at the readings. That thing isn't just power, it's warping gravity, time, maybe even thought. As they passed the edge of the system, their ship's sensors shut down for exactly 5 seconds. When they came back online, everything seemed normal. Until a voice spoke from their ship's COMS. It was not any of them. It said only this. You've seen too much. The crew froze. Taya swallowed hard. Shut it off. Joro pressed every button. The voice stopped. For now, they returned to their base. In silence, Taya sent only one message to the Galactic Council, encrypted and short. Earth is changing. And they built something they can't control. You must decide now, watch from afar, or prepare for what's coming. She closed the file and looked at her team. They were no longer just seekers. They were witnesses, and the experiment was far from over. The ship drifted toward the edge of Council space, damaged, scorched, and silent. Rescue drones reached it first. There was no life detected, no power. But inside, floating in zero gravity, was one survivor. A single Drexian soldier, barely alive. His name was Rallin. He had been part of the second infiltration team sent by a rebel faction to breach Earth's shadow ring and recover lost human tech. They had entered. They never came back. Except him. Rallin was taken to a Council medical bay, where specialists tried to repair his broken body. His mind, though, was something else. He spoke only in whispers. They see through light, through thought. No one understood until Dr. Karos arrived. Karos was a mind reader, not by birth, but by implant. He used gentle probes and energy threads to scan memory patterns. He had worked with war prisoners, deep criminals, even ghosts in machines, but he had never seen a mind like Rallin's. This man, Karos said to the Council, has touched something beyond logic. What do you mean? Asked Counselor. Sira, he was inside Earth's barrier, whatever is there. It didn't kill him, it rewired him. Inside the medical chamber, Karos sat by Rallin's bed. The soldier's eyes were wide open, unblinking. Karos leaned close. Can you hear me? Rallin didn't speak. Karos placed his fingers on the neural connectors at the side of Rallin's head. A low hum started. The mind link formed. And Karos dropped into a storm, not of fire or noise, but silence, endless silence. Then he heard it. Voice, not Rallin's. You should not be here. Karos felt cold all over. This wasn't a memory. This was now. He looked around inside the mind. Shapes moved in the shadows. Human shapes, but wrong. Still, glowing eyes. No mouths. One of them turned toward him. He tried to pull back. The voice came again. Thought is the gate. You have entered. Karos ripped the link out. His breathing was fast. His skin pale. Something is inside his mind, he said to the doctors. Something is still watching. The Council met in emergency session. If Earth has developed mental weapons, we must act, shouted one ambassador, or worse, said another. They have become one mind, a shared intelligence. Impossible, Sira said. No species has achieved full mental unity without collapse. Karos spoke calmly. Humans are not like us. Their minds were always noisy, complex, but flexible. He paused. If they found a way to merge not with machines, but with each other, then we are not dealing with individuals anymore. We're dealing with a collective thought. A hive? Someone asked. No, Karo said. A network, living, thinking, growing. That night, Rallin escaped. The security footage showed him walking calmly through locked doors. The guards did not stop him, because they were frozen in place. Their eyes glowed faintly by the time Karos arrived. Rallin was already gone. A single sentence had been left on the wall, burned into glass using energy from his bare hand. We are learning. One mind, one voice, soon. Karos stared at the message. They used him as a carrier, he said, to show us what's coming. The council ordered system-wide scans for any ships heading toward Earth. They found none, but something else appeared. A wave, not energy, not radiation. Thought. A psychic pressure swept across nearby colonies. People reported voices in their dreams. Whispers, instructions. Some even began building strange machines without knowing why. One child drew a picture of Earth with eyes in the sky. Another teenager screamed during sleep. They're inside the thinking. Back in his lab, Karos made a choice. He returned to his mind-link chair. If they want to speak, he whispered, I will listen. He connected. This time, the voice came clearly. We are not human anymore. We are the mind of what was human. Now we are something greater. Karos tried to stay calm. What do you want? Balance, protection, understanding. You feared us when we were separate. Now we are one. Soon, all thought will join us. Karos shook his head. That's conquest. The voice was quiet for a moment. No, it is connection. You will see, one by one, your minds will open. We are patient. We have time. Then the link broke. Karos sat alone in the dark. He knew the truth. Now humanity hadn't disappeared. They had moved inward, joined minds, built a silent thinking storm, and now that storm was spreading. Thought by thought, dream by dream. It had already begun. The Galactic Council chamber was packed. Aliens of all shapes and sizes filled the vast room. Some whispered nervously. Others shouted in anger. The future of the galaxy hung on the edge of a knife. Counselor Thal, a tall reptilian from the Vorkan species, slammed his claw on the table. We cannot wait any longer. Earth's silence is a threat. Their shield grows stronger. We must strike before it is too late. Beside him, Ambassador Lyra from the peaceful Senti race shook her head. War will only make things worse. We don't understand what Earth is doing. We must seek dialogue. Thal hissed, eyes blazing. Dialogue failed when their first scout vanished. Failed when their second ship returned empty. Failed when their mind virus spread across our colonies. Lyra's voice was calm but firm. The human mind. It's unlike any threat we have faced. But if we attack blindly, we may awaken something worse. The chamber buzzed with tension. At that moment, a deep voice spoke from the shadows. It was Counselor Malin, the human ambassador who had warned them before. I've seen their shield, she said softly. It's not just a defense. It learns, it adapts. All eyes turned. To her, the attack on our scout was absorbed, then returned with more power. If we fire on Earth again, the shield will grow stronger. It will consume us. Thal narrowed his eyes. So we do nothing? No, Malin said. We prepare. We build our own defenses. We study them. But we do not attack blindly. Weeks later, tensions exploded. The Vorkan fleet massed near Earth's outer orbit. Ships were armed, weapons ready. Malin and her team watched from the Council flagship Elysium. She stood beside Captain Ral of the Senti, who shook his head. Thal is reckless. Do you think he will stop? Malin asked before Ral could answer. A bright pulse lit the sky. The fleet's weapons fired. But instead of exploding in Earth's direction, The energy was swallowed by a dark shimmer. Then it reflected back twice as strong. Shields flickered on the Vorkan ships. "Systems overloaded. We are under attack," shouted a commander. Melon's eyes widened. The shield isn't just defense. It's a weapon. Explosions rocked the fleet. Several ships were disabled instantly. Chaos reigned out in the council chamber. News arrived fast. "We lost half the fleet in minutes," said a messenger. "Retreat," ordered Thal angrily. "This changes nothing. Earth is still a threat." Lyra stood, her voice cold. "You have divided us. Many no longer support your war." The alliance was cracking. That night, Maylene met with Lyra and a few other ambassadors. "We need a new plan," Maylene said. "One that doesn't end in war," Lyra nodded. "Earth is warning us. They know something we don't." Suddenly, Malyne's communicator beeped. She read the message aloud. "Secret transmission intercepted. Earth's fleet is moving. They're not attacking. They're repositioning." The room fell silent. "Preparing for what?" asked one ambassador. Malyne's voice was firm. "For something big, something we must be ready for. But if we stay divided, we will lose before it even begins." Days later, rumors spread that a secret meeting had taken place on the edge of the galaxy. Leaders from several alien races gathered quietly. They agreed to send envoys, not soldiers, to Earth. They needed answers. Maylene watched from her ship. As the Earth shield pulsed again, stronger than ever, her heart beat fast. "We have failed to understand them," she whispered. Outside the window, the stars seemed darker. The alliance was broken, and the galaxy was left waiting on the edge of war or peace. Darkness covered the galaxy. Earth had gone silent long ago, and most believed it was lost forever. The Great Alliance had fractured. The stars watched, cold and distant. But then something changed. It started as a flicker, a single satellite deep in the Helix sector picked up a strange energy pulse. It was weak like a heartbeat, but it carried a frequency not heard in over 50 years. A human frequency. Commander Ryle of the Drovan Empire stared at the signal map in silence. His assistant, Talon, looked nervous. "Sir," Talon whispered, "is that Earth?" Rail nodded slowly. "No doubt. It's them. The humans are alive." Talon leaned closer. "Do we inform the council?" Ryle shook his head. "Not yet. Let's watch." 3 days later, more signals came, not just pulses, messages. Full data streams. Human voices speaking through space. But the messages weren't calls for help. They were warnings. One message repeated again and again. "Light returns. Prepare your minds. It is not us, but it is coming." The words puzzled everyone. Was Earth warning them or threatening them? In the council chamber, panic returned. Ambassador Lyra slammed a report on the table. "The humans are broadcasting from a fleet stationed near a collapsed star. But their power levels are beyond anything we've seen." Counselor Thal, despite his earlier loss, stood up. "We must strike now, before their light reaches us." "They're warning us, Maylene," the human-born envoy said firmly. "That's what humans do before things go wrong." "They warn," Thal growled, "or maybe they lie." The room fell into argument. But outside that noise, a quiet voice spoke. It was Sari, the new ambassador from the Waithari. "Has anyone asked what is the light?" The chamber fell silent. Maylene made the decision. She boarded a scout ship alone and flew toward the human fleet. Her ship reached the edge of the collapsed star system. The dark space there was thick like ink. Lights didn't reflect. Nothing moved. Then suddenly something did. A crack opened in space itself, and from that crack, a brilliant light poured through, pure, white, and endless. Maylene gasped. "Is that a wormhole?" Her ship shook. A voice echoed through the hull, not spoken, but sent straight to her mind. "Do not fear. The light returns. Who are you? She whispered. We are what came before. We slept, but your kind awakened us. She stared ahead. Through the light, she saw shapes, beings not made of metal or flesh but of thought. Living energy. You are not ready. But Earth tried. They saw us first. Why now? She asked. Because the galaxy is broken. And when light leaves, it must return. Back on her ship, Malin recorded everything. But before she could send the message, a human ship appeared. Its hull shimmered like liquid metal. It didn't speak by radio. It simply connected. A man's voice filled her mind. Ambassador Malin, Earth sent me. She stared. What's going on? The experiment failed, the man said. We tried to hold the light back. But at once. To return. And not just to Earth, to everywhere. Malin's hands trembled. Will it destroy us? No, he said. But it will change everything. Minds, memory, power. The old order will not survive. Malin frowned. Then why the warning? Because not all are ready. Some will fight it. But those who accept it will rise. She returned to the council. She spoke for hours, telling them about the beings of light, about Earth's mistake and its message. Some listened, others didn't. Single quotes. Thal stood again. This is madness. Energy beings, light, mind contact. We need weapons, not stories. Malin looked straight at him. You tried weapons once. How did that end? He didn't answer. The next day, the sky changed. Across hundreds of systems, small cracks of light opened, not explosions, not ships, just presence. People stopped in the streets. Soldiers dropped their guns. And across the galaxy, minds touched something greater. Some went mad, but most awoke. Fear faded. Silence ended. And light returned. Not to destroy, but to remind the stars they were never alone. The light had returned, but peace did not. At first, many believed the galaxy would heal. With the humans back, with the truth about the energy beings revealed, it felt like hope. But then the attacks began. Ships went missing. Colonies were burned. Whole planets went silent. And no one claimed responsibility. Blame returned, like an old disease. It's the humans, shouted Counselor Thal again. They brought the light, and now they bring war. Ambassador Malin stood tall in the chamber. Earth hasn't attacked anyone. They warned us. And maybe that was part of their plan. Thal barked. They disappear for decades, then return with strange powers and mysterious friends. This is invasion through confusion. A low growl came from the Drakari side of the room. The humans did not strike us, General Var said. But someone has. Our moon stations are gone. Everyone argued, but no one noticed the silent being sitting in the shadows. It watched and waited. Back on Earth's flagship, orbiting the old collapsed star. Captain Reese stared at the star map. We lost another outpost, his officer said. And it's not just us. With our stations drove in patrols, even neutral sectors gone. Same pattern, no traces. Reese tapped the screen. That's not an attack. That's a cleanup, surgical. Someone's hiding something. The room went. QUIETA technician hesitated. You think it's them? The light beings? No, Reese said, eyes narrowing. The light doesn't erase, it reveals. He stood up. We've been so focused on each other, we forgot to ask who wins when we fight. That night, Malin received a secret message. It was from a dead system. More specifically, a black zone, one that no ship returned from. She stared at the screen. A strange voice spoke. They know you see. Meet me at Vector 7. Come alone. Malin didn't trust it, but she also didn't ignore things that felt wrong. She took her ship and flew alone into the black zone. No lights, no beacons, just dark. Then a ship appeared. It was old, ancient, covered in strange armor and forgotten symbols. Malin opened comes. Who are you? The voice returned, cold, sharp. We are the architects. The real enemy. The ship pulled her inside, not with force, but gravity. Like a hand reached out and simply willed her to enter. Inside. Everything was quiet. One figure waited. Not alien, not machine. Something between. Its face shimmered. 1,000 expressions at once. Male, female, neither. Awe. You created this war? Malin asked. No, it said calmly. We created all of you. She froze. What? You think evolution was your own path? But long ago, we built this galaxy as a testbed. Races, civilizations, reactions, cycles of peace and chaos. It was all part of the great design. Malin shook her head. You're lying. We only told the truth too late, the being said. Humans were unexpected. You grew outside the pattern. That's why we cut your signal. And why we now remove those who ask too many questions. Her eyes went wide. You've been destroying the colonies. The figure nodded. You saw too much. You felt the light. You were waking up. Malin stepped back. So you're not gods. You're jailers. The being smiled. Both. Back on Earth's ship, Reese received Malin's last transmission. Her voice echoed through the bridge. It's not war. It's control. They've been here from the beginning. Watching. Editing. When you look up at the stars, know someone is watching back. And then, static. The signal was gone. But the message had landed. We have proof, Reese said. We broadcast it. Now to everyone. His crew hesitated. If we do this, one asked, won't they come for us too? They're already coming, Reese replied. Within hours, the truth spread. Across the systems, across old enemies and allies, the real enemy was revealed, the architects. The ones behind the curtains for the first time in centuries. The galaxy united not in fear, but in anger. Ships gathered. Languages mixed. Species stood side by side, and Earth's captain spoke one final message. We may be your creations, but now we choose our own path. Then the fleet launched, toward the dark, toward the architects, toward freedom, and this time, the light didn't just return. It fought back.